What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be working on the harbor section of my layout, as it is kind of a mess, as you can see by the picture on the screen. There's three things we're going to add to the layout. One of them being a main shipping station for in and out of the harbor, mainly for road vehicles. Speaking of road vehicles, the second thing we're going to be adding is a grade crossing over a curved section of track to get to this new shipping center that we're putting down. And the third thing we're going to be adding is what we're going to be building today, and that is an overhead traveling crane from Walters. This is for the harbor yard, and I just thought it would make a cool accessory in the yard as something pretty neat, and I mean, yards need it, so let's do it. Everything's coming on sprues as normal. Here's some plastic, probably for a window or something. Our string for the hook, part of the crane later. Some bigger sprue assemblies, those are the same. We'll put those together. This one's different. We'll put the hook over here. All right, well, I'm gonna start putting this together, and I'll see you again when I get to a notable part in the build.
A few moments later.
All right, guys, I got the first page of instructions done. Got the two main guide rails for the gantry, and we got the gantry itself put together. It's gonna ride on these two rails, and so this is the top part of the crane. That was just the first page of the instructions, so we are going to move on to assembling the base, so I will see you in a bit.
Eventually.
All right, guys, I made it to the next large point. I have the gantry all the way assembled with the cab attached to it, and I have the hoist enclosure all done except for the roof, which is going to need the string attached to it. So once I get that done, I will put the roof on of that. The next thing is these supports. I have all of them attached to the bases. I'm in the process of attaching them to the rails, which I broke this one. I have to fix it. But once I get all the supports on, we should be pretty much done and ready to go put it on the layout. So I'll see you in a minute.
6.5 hours later.
All right, guys, I got the last legs put on the gantry. So now the next step is we're gonna put it on the layout in the harbor. So let's go. All right, guys, welcome back to the layout. One thing I forgot to film was the installing of this hook on the actual crane itself. But I'll pop a picture up right now. It was just putting some string through and taping it to the inside of this. So that's all that was. So now we actually have to set this out on the layout, and these actual gantry pieces are pretty flimsy and they don't really like to stay up. So I've got some screws that I'm going to anchor down one of the legs on each side with. Hopefully that'll keep it upright and that's not falling over on any of the rolling stock or anything like that. So let's get this set up here. Awesome, that looks great. Now I just gotta make sure that they're even all the way back, because I might have to do some, whoop. Like I said, it's really flimsy, which is why I'm gonna anchor it down. Might have to move it up a little bit here. Again, why I'm anchoring it down. All right, now that I've kind of got the crane set up where I want it, I'm gonna take and anchor it with those screws down there so it's not flopping around. And don't worry, it looks a little ugly now with those two screws there, but don't worry, we're going to cover each one of the stanchion bases with a little bit of gravel, so it's gonna look a lot better and hide those screws. And now that the gravel's laid, I'm just gonna take a vacuum and clean up some of the loose stuff. All right, and there we go, guys. There is the crane installed. Overall, not a huge fan of the kit, really. It was kind of a pain to put together, and with how flimsy it is, you gotta anchor it down and whatnot. But for 20 bucks, it's not too bad. And that's really gonna do it for the video, guys. Thanks again for watching. I know it's been a while since I uploaded, but really appreciate y'all sticking around and checking out my content. So without further ado, let's see it in action.